Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about every episode of the John Poultry era ranked in this pretty little tier list, right guys? I've done this with a bunch of the other doctors, and now it's John Poultry's turn. So we got great, good, above average, average, below average, bad, and awful. I refrain from doing the A through F system like I usually do because I don't know. I was feeling fun today, right? Okay, so starting off with Banner Spearhead from Space. This is John Tolchi's first episode and kind of introduces the format of the show for the next three seasons. He's trapped on Earth. He's with the Brigadier and Liz Shaw. Those guys are introduced or reintroduced in Brigadier's case. John Tolchi comes out swinging in his first episode. He's already amazing. The Autons are such a good villain. Whole episode was shot on film instead of videotape because it has much more of a cinematic quality to it. I wish more episodes were shot like that, but obviously for budgetary reasons they couldn't do that. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's a great starting point for John Poultry's Doctor, and just a classic story overall. So highly recommended. The Silurians. This is above average. I enjoy this one a lot. A little long at 7 parts, but honestly, they keep the momentum going with the philosophical issues, the unique design of the Silurians, and the tensions between the Doctor and the Brigadier, and then the Doctor and the rest of the military. You have a lot of different points made in this episode, and I think they do a very good job. It's probably the best use of the Silurians. I think a lot of the other attempts with them have been a little bit kind of recycling the ideas that were already so well done in this one that it just seems like the other stories with the Silurians struggle to keep up with it. Moving on to the Ambassadors of Death. This is an average episode, which is still pretty good. You know, if it like an average episode of John Poetry is still better than like almost any episode of the past 5 seasons, right? So this one has this like creepy vibe to it. This uneasy, you're not really sure what's going on, kind of Twilight Zone's vibe, and everything about it's very eerie. John Poultry is great, Liz Shaw is great, the Brigadier is great. We see Benton, he's always nice. The astronaut suit guys, and the fact you don't see what their faces look like until the very end of the episode is really well done because it kind of keeps the suspense going and the creepiness. So yeah, it's another good episode. Well, it's average, but it's good. Uh, Moving on to Inferno, which is my favorite episode of the John Poultry era. This is it has so much going for it. You have the zombies, you have the alternate universe, you have the evil Brigadier, the evil Liz Shaw, though she's not really that evil. You have like the whole shocking ending where that whole alternate universe gets destroyed by the lava. It has this nice message about, well, relevant message about drilling, you know, and I don't know why anybody thought drilling into the core of the earth would be a good idea, but I guess if anybody wanted to, then this is an example of why that shouldn't happen, right? John Fulci is amazing in this one as well. He's able to do the dramatic moments so well. Moving on to Tale of the Autons. This is the first episode to feature both the Master and Joe Grant, and both of them are very likable right off the bat for different reasons, of course. Roger Delgado's Master is a villain that people love to hate. He's just so likable despite being so evil. I think he's amazing. And Joe Grant, while I wish they had Liz have a better exit, she just kind of disappeared between stories. I do like Joe Grant a lot too. I think it would have been cool if he had two companions for a little bit, to ease the transition. Maybe have Liz do like the science stuff, and then Joe could do the traveling stuff or something like that. I mean, you've had two companions before a lot of the times, so I don't know why they didn't just do that. But as it stands, Tale of the Auton is an enjoyable episode, um, and I think the dialogue is very good too. Moving on to the Mind of Evil. This is another good one. Uh, it's average. Okay, I don't feel like I should like make this good and then make this great and then make this amazing because even his average episodes are good. You know what I'm saying? So the Mind of Evil also pretty good. It has this like political thriller vibe, which I like. It's all set in this prison and this machine that the master uses to prey on people's fears. very Stephen King-ish, except without the weird parts. Yeah, Stephen King books tend to have, right? Joe's great in this episode. She's a badass. Like she's very small and sweet, but she's not afraid to kick some ass if she has to. That's what I like about her character. Um, and yeah, the Master's great in this as well. Moving on to the Claws of Axis. This is below average, but still doesn't mean I didn't like it. It's still a pretty good one. I think the design of the ship looks really good, and the axons look a little silly. I'm not gonna lie, but the story itself, I think it moves pretty well, and the cast does a good job. Moving on to Colony of Space, which is the first bad episode in John Poetry's era. Which, you know what? If we've had a season of a half of absolute bangers, then I guess he's afforded a bad episode once in a while. This one just doesn't work for me. I just feel like it plods along. It never really gains momentum. There's no tension. It's just kind of a bunch of stuff that happens, except it just moves so slowly that I like want to fall asleep during most of it. But I do like the scenes with Joe's like, going through the motions of traveling in the TARDIS for the first time. She kind of a little freaked out a little bit. I think that's a realistic reaction. Moving on to The Daemons, which is an above average episode. I like this one a lot. It's very creepy. They kind of use like the witchcraft symbols and everything. That one lady who played the witch is very well acted. I kind of wish she showed up more often because I feel like she had a potential to be a good recurring character. The Master is so good in this. He's so over the top but menacing at the same time. He's great. He goes all out. Joe Grant also has some good moments in this episode. The Daemons is really good because at this point in the show, you have 6 main characters, and they all have something to add to the story. I really like that when that happens. It's a very good ensemble piece. Moving on to Day of the Daleks, which out of the 3 Dalek episodes is my favorite. This one is kind of cool because, whoa, what happened here? This one's really cool because it focuses on time travel. I feel like despite being a show about time travel, this era of Doctor Who didn't really touch it that much. It kind of had like a Terminator vibe where people from the future go back in time to kill the Daleks before they take over the planet, but then the Daleks go back in time to kill those people before that happens. And I don't know, I feel like it has a similar plot to the Terminator, except this one came first. The effects on this one, a little cheesy, but overall, I love the plot. I love the Doctor in this. I love that bad guy who kind of redeems himself in the end, where he's like, maybe I'll be the one who exterminates you. The Brigadier's great. Benton's great. Correct me if I'm wrong, but is this the only classic Who story that has the Daleks and UNIT in them? I feel like that might be the case. But yeah, good story overall. Moving on to The Curse of Peladon. This is a good one. It's kind of like a murder mystery vibe where the Doctor and Joe are at this like peace conference, and somebody's been murdered. And you think the Ice Warriors did it because the Ice Warriors are the bad guys in all the other stories they appeared in to this point. But turns out it's one of the humans, which is a nice switch. I like in Doctor Who how sometimes the monsters are like some alien race who has been a villain in a previous story. Turns out they're not whole evil, just some of them, kind of like humans themselves. So you have some good Ice Warriors here. I think that's a nice twist because the past 2 Ice Warrior stories, Patrick Troughton, they were all evil, right? Patrick Troughton's son is in this, and he's really good. Yeah, a pretty enjoyable story. Not one of my favorites, but it's still pretty good. Moving on to the Sea Devils. This is the best Sea Devil story as well. I did like the War Between the Land and the Sea, but I thought the ending was kind of eh. But the Sea Devils, I think, is a very strong story. You have the Return of the Master, which is barely constitutes a return because he's only been gone for like 3 episodes. But the Master's back. The Doctor and Joe visit him in prison, and he's up to his old shenanigans again. We have like this sword fight. We have these like boat chases. This design of the Sea Devils looks very good. All around great story. I think it's really good. Moving on to the Mutants. This one's awful. I hate this one. This is probably his worst episode. I think it looks good visually. I love the cave scenes; those look really beautiful in a way, and I love the cinematography. But the episode itself is so bad. It goes on for 6 episodes, and barely anything ever happens. It just plods along. Um, but yeah, this one did not need to be this long because literally nothing happened, and it could have been one episode and it would have been fine. Moving on to the Time Monster, which is also a really bad one. This one is just so stupid. I feel like the plot doesn't make any sense. The effects look awful, even for Doctor Who standards. I do like Unit and I like the Master, but the whole plot and the side characters and the whole God thing just kind of rubs me the wrong way. I didn't enjoy this one at all. Moving on to the Three Doctors. This one is great. This features the return of William Hartnell and Patrick Troughton. And while William Hartnell's a bit sick in this one, he couldn't actually be in the studio. They had to pre-record his lines. It's still really nice to see him again because for a 10th anniversary special, he's the one that started it all. It makes sense for him to be included. As for Patrick Troughton, the way he just snaps back into the role like this, it's like he never left. Like he's been gone for like 3 years at this point. You couldn't tell because he is so on top of it. His chemistry with John Pertwee is amazing. Unit is so well utilized here, and I love Omega, such a great villain. Unfortunately, he was butchered by the new episodes because they didn't utilize him good at all. But yeah, one of my favorite John Pertwee episodes. It's fantastic. So moving on to, let's see what's next. Carnival of Monsters. This is such a good one. It has such a fun, wacky vibe to it. While also have being so many different genres. It's kind of a period piece because they're in this ship in the 1920s. It turns out that's inside of a big minoscope, which is like a bunch of shrunken people replaying their lives over and over again. Really cool concept. Very classic sci-fi Twilight Zone-esque. And then you have these goofy hippies who are running it, which is they're just so entertaining to watch. I love those guys. They're so funny. They look like they came right out of like Woodstock or something. Like they're all dressed like Elton John. They're hilarious, very fun to watch, and the dialogue in this episode is so good. It has a very fast-paced episode for a classic Who story, which I appreciate. Moving on to Frontier in Space. This one, you have a lot of forces at play. It's like this political thriller, and it's this Cold War thing where everybody's sending each other false flags to attack each other. We have the Ogrons, we have the Master, we have the Daleks. The Doctor and Joe get imprisoned like 15 times. But I feel like the pacing is still really good. It's kind of a guilty pleasure one for me. I just enjoy the vibes. And I think John Pertwee and Katie Manning are great together in this one. I mean, they're great together all the time. But I feel like at this point, they've been traveling together so long, on the show so long, that their personalities just mix so well together. Moving on to Planet of the Daleks. So this one's kind of weird because it comes out of a cliffhanger right after Frontier in Space, but it doesn't really have anything to do with it. Like, vaguely, I guess, but not really. It's kind of just a story in its own right. But as a story in its own right, it's still pretty good. It seems like a copy of the original Dalek story with William Hartnell. Kind of goes through the same story beats with the Thals and stuff. But I still think it looks really good. It's much faster paced than the original one. The Joe is great. The Doctor's great. Though he is a little sick for some of it. It's enjoyable. I like this one. It's the first episode Terry Nation wrote in 7 seasons, and he comes back really good. Moving on to The Green Death, which is above average. I like this one a lot. You have you have the big maggots. You have Unit. You have the boss, very memorable character. I love his voice. It's so great. Jo Grant's heartbreaking exit. Well, bittersweet exit because he's happy, but she leaves, and it's very sad on the Doctor. That last scene between them is so good. The Brigadier, Benton, and Mike Yates are all very well utilized. This begins Mike Yates' kind of character arc that continues into the next season of him being kind of afraid of technology. Moving on to the Time Meddler, which is the first episode to feature the great Sarah Jane Smith. I think she's so likable right off the bat because she doesn't exactly trust the Doctor, and he doesn't exactly trust her either, but they're forced to work together with these, like, 11th century kind of, not savages, but, a little bit more primitive people. And then we have the Santorin, who is very memorable. I love the guy who plays him. Uh, very cheesy, but also threatening at the same time. I think it's hard to have a mix of that, and I think the Santorin, in this episode at least, does a really good job at that. Moving on to Invasion of the Dinosaurs. So obviously the effects of the dinosaurs look very bad in this one, but it's still a very enjoyable story. Mike Yates has his he betrays the rest of UNIT, which of course was set up in the Green Death, and I like how they kind of pay that off here. And there's this whole like conspiracy to send the Earth back into the dinosaur age, but it also kills a lot of people. It's a little crazy there. Sarah Jane's great. She's stuck on this fake spaceship with a bunch of weird cult members. The Doctor's great too. He gets to kick some ass in this one. I love the Brigadier. I love Benton. I love a good UNIT story. Moving on to Death to the Daleks. This is below average, but like I said several times, that doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it. It just doesn't. It just one that I don't exactly go back and watch all the time. This one is unique because there's the humans on this planet and then the Daleks, but because of some like energy circuit, they're unable to kill each other. The Daleks are not able to kill the humans. Now this works in theory, but it also makes for a slightly boring episode because if you can't have the Daleks kill people, then you don't really have much going on, and it kind of plods along, but it's still enjoyable. I love John Pertwee and Sarah Jane, Elizabeth Sladen have very good chemistry together, and I think the story works. It just maybe could have been a bit shorter. The Monster of Peladon. This is awful. I hate this one. I know this one has some fans, but to me, it's just a cheap ripoff of the Curse of Peladon back in season 9, except not as good. This one, literally nothing happens in it. I think I might have started to doze off in the middle of it. And this is coming from somebody who likes slower paced movies and shows sometimes. Like a lot of John Pertwee episodes are slow paced, but they still have stuff going on in them. This has nothing. This is just like 80% of it's filler. It's really bad. Moving on to Planet of the Spiders, which is the final episode of John Pertwee, and I think he goes out on a pretty good note. It's not his best episode, but it's definitely not his worst episode. And I think it does a good job at resolving all the plot threads from the last couple seasons. We have Mike Yates return, and we have him redeem himself. We have we have the blue crystal, the Metabilis 3 crystal from the Green Death. That comes back into play. Joe Grant is mentioned. The monk that the Doctor talked about to Joe in the Time Monster is finally seen. He's been mentioned but never seen. So we have a lot of moments like this where a lot of plot threads that you didn't exactly expect to see picked up again get a nice little resolution. It definitely feels like a series finale vibe. The spiders look a little silly, but I love the voice of the Great One and how maniacal and megalomaniac she is. Oh, hey, the Great One! Crazy stuff. And the Doctor's heartbreaking regeneration where he sacrifices himself to save those people on that planet is very well done. John Pertwee's final scene is so good. You can tell that this is kind of like a best of hits list for John Pertwee because there's that like chase scene that goes on for 10 minutes and they go through like 4 different vehicles. I mean, that's kind of like what his Doctor's known for, crazy chase scenes. And they added that. I think it's good. Sarah Jane gets a lot to do here. She actually has very good chemistry with Mike Yates, despite this being the only episode where they really talk to each other. Her and Pertwee have really good chemistry as well. I think they're underrated as a duo because it's overshadowed by her and Tom Baker, who also have very good chemistry. But yeah, overall, John Portrier's era had the perfect cast. There's not a single main character in this 5 seasons of television that I didn't like, and that's rare to say sometimes. Um, Stories, there's only 4 episodes out of his 21 that I didn't like, which is a great ratio. That means I liked, like, what, 60-70% of his episodes? I'm not good at math. Um, but yeah, just an amazing doctor, my favorite of the classic doctors. And when he left, I felt very sad, because it took me a year to get through all of these. And on the right side, I also like Tom Baker a lot. Not as much as Poetry, but I still like him. So I'm excited to get into his episodes. I'm going to start reviewing those sometime in February. So look out for those if you're interested in that. Let me know down in the comments what your favorite episode of John Poetry is and what your least favorite episodes are. And I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.